You look tired like my husband before he left.
He had closed billion-dollar deals without blinking, survived boardroom betrayals, and rebuilt a company from the edge of collapse. But the sentence spoken to him at a quiet café copyright window hit harder than anything before. A young widow, her hands trembling around a small order slip, looked at him with eyes full of quiet grief and told him he looked tired in the same way her husband had looked just before he walked out of the house for the last time and never came back. In that moment, the weight he had been carrying for years cracked open, and the life of a lonely CEO and a broken woman became unexpectedly intertwined on a snowy evening in the United States. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet moments that change lives forever, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt stories that remind us what it truly means to be human. Nathaniel Brooks was known across Chicago's financial district as a man who never slowed down. At 39, he was the founder and CEO of a powerful logistics technology firm, a company built from nothing but long nights, caffeine, and an obsessive need to prove himself. His name appeared in business magazines, his face on conference banners, yet behind the tailored suits and controlled expressions lived a man exhausted beyond measure. His penthouse apartment felt more like a hotel room than a home, his phone never stopped buzzing, and sleep came in fragments haunted by memories of failure, abandonment, and a childhood spent watching his father work himself into an early grave. That evening, snow fell gently over Chicago's streets, muting the noise of traffic and turning the city into a blurred painting of lights and white shadows. Nathaniel had ducked into a small corner café copyright near the river, not for pleasure but to escape the ringing in his head. The place was warm, softly lit, and smelled of coffee and baked bread. He chose a table by the window, his coat still draped over his shoulders, staring out at the snowfall as if waiting for something he could not name. Across the counter worked Hannah Whitmore, 27 years old, a widow far too young to carry the heaviness in her eyes. She had once dreamed of becoming a nurse, of building a lively home filled with laughter, but life had rewritten her plans without mercy. 2 years earlier, her husband Matthew had left for his night shift as a paramedic and never returned, taken by a reckless driver on an icy road. Since then, Hannah had learned how grief could be loud in silence and how survival sometimes meant accepting jobs that barely paid the bills but kept the lights on. She noticed Nathaniel immediately, not because of his expensive watch or polished shoes, but because of the way he sat, shoulders heavy, gaze distant, hands wrapped around an untouched cup. To her, he looked achingly familiar. Matthew had worn that same hollow expression in his final months, when exhaustion had settled deeper than sleep could reach. As Hannah approached his table to confirm his order, the words escaped her before caution could intervene. She told him he looked tired, in the same way her husband had looked before he left and never came back. The air between them shifted, thick with something unspoken. Nathaniel felt as if she had reached into his chest and named the ache he refused to acknowledge. He nodded slowly, unable to respond, and Hannah retreated, embarrassed by her honesty yet unable to take it back. For the rest of the evening, Nathaniel remained seated long after his coffee grew cold. Her words replayed in his mind, stripping away the illusion of control he had built so carefully. He realized how close he lived to the edge, how little room remained between him and complete collapse. That night marked the beginning of an unexpected pattern. Nathaniel returned to the café copyright again and again, always at the same hour, always by the window. He told himself it was convenience, but deep down he knew he was searching for something grounding, something real. Hannah noticed too. She never spoke directly to him again in that raw way, but their silent familiarity grew. A nod, a brief smile, an understanding that neither was alone in their tiredness. Over weeks, small changes unfolded. Nathaniel started leaving his coat on the chair instead of his shoulders, taking slower sips of coffee, allowing himself to breathe. Hannah, in turn, found her days a little lighter, her grief less isolating knowing someone else carried invisible weight. Eventually, Life pushed them closer without ceremony. One stormy night, the café copyright lost power, plunging the room into shadow broken only by streetlights reflecting off snow. Customers left, but Nathaniel stayed, offering to help clean while they waited for electricity to return. In the quiet, they shared fragments of their lives without formal conversation, stories of loss, of pressure, of dreams deferred. Not spoken directly, but woven through actions and shared presence. Nathaniel learned of Hannah's struggle to keep her small apartment, her guilt over surviving when Matthew did not, and her fear of dreaming again. Hannah sensed Nathaniel's loneliness, the emptiness behind his success, and the relentless drive that left no space for rest or connection. Their bond grew slowly, tenderly, never rushed. Nathaniel began questioning his life choices, realizing how success had cost him relationships, health, and peace. He reduced his hours, shocking his board, and delegated responsibilities he once hoarded. For the first time, he allowed himself evenings without meetings, mornings without alarms. Hannah, encouraged by his belief in her quiet strength, enrolled in evening classes to revive her nursing dream. She learned that grief did not have to end ambition, that loving again did not erase the past. Challenges remained. Nathaniel faced resistance from investors who mistook balance for weakness. Hannah battled waves of guilt when moments of happiness surfaced unexpectedly. Yet each obstacle strengthened their resolve rather than pulling them apart. Winter gave way to spring, snow melting into rushing rivers, and with it, something inside them thawed. Their connection, rooted in empathy rather than convenience, became a source of healing. Nathaniel found himself laughing more, sleeping deeper, living more honestly. Hannah rediscovered hope, her heart learning that loss did not forbid joy. Near the anniversary of Matthew's passing, Hannah struggled deeply, withdrawing into herself. Nathaniel supported her not by fixing anything, but by standing beside her grief, honoring the man who had shaped her life. In doing so, he faced his own unresolved pain, mourning the relationships he had sacrificed to ambition. On a quiet evening at the same café copyright window where it all began, Hannah looked out at the city lights, no longer blurred by tears. She felt gratitude for the strange kindness of fate that had allowed two broken paths to intersect. Nathaniel realized that tiredness was not a flaw but a signal, a reminder to slow down before life forced the lesson harsher. As the story draws toward its end, remember to comment below with the words "kindness matters" if you believe small moments can change lives. In the final months of the year, Hannah completed her certification and secured a position at a local hospital. Nathaniel restructured his company to prioritize sustainability over constant growth, earning respect rather than fear. Together, they found balance, not as a fairy tale ending, but as a shared commitment to living fully despite scars. Their story did not erase the past, nor did it promise perfection. Instead, it offered something far more powerful: the understanding that compassion can bridge the deepest loneliness, that tired souls recognize each other for a reason, and that sometimes, healing begins with a single honest sentence spoken at a café copyright window. If this story touched your heart, reminded you of someone you love, or gave you hope in a difficult season, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps bring more stories of humanity, resilience, and quiet miracles to those who need them most.